Mobile garage shelf. Look at that, one hand movement. Exactly what I needed. Welcome back, it's your guy Engineer Mojo with another tutorial video how to. As always, full tool lists and prices are displayed on the screen. This is what it cost me in 2023 to build this mobile garage shelf. All this information is also down below in the video description. First task is to lay out your 4x4 posts. I'm using an 8-foot long 4x4 post, and now you can mark exactly where you want to place your shelves. Now in my case, I have a mobile garage cabinet that I want this shelf to kind of fit right over. If you haven't seen that video, it's down below in the video description, the link for that. In my case, I'm marking out a shelf location at 48 inches and also another one 2 foot above at 72 inches. With those locations marked out on 2 posts, I'll start the framing to one side of the cabinet shelf. I'll double check my measurements prior to attaching those support rails to the posts. So I also pull a measurement for the length of the shelf and make sure that the top and bottoms are both 10 foot apart. 10 foot is my goal length for this shelf. With my shelf locations verified and the spacing of my posts verified for one side of the shelf, I'll mark the locations where I want to secure the shelf support 2x4s to the posts. I mark 2 locations where I'll tap in the screws. Marking the locations prior to screwing helps me verify that I'm screwing into the correct locations. And since I'm dealing with 2x4s close to the edge, I like to pre-drill the screw locations. That way I don't split this wood since it's so close to the edge. At this stage, I've secured the 2 2x4 shelf supports to each side of the post. So essentially one side of my shelf is complete. I'll take this next 2x4, I'll line it up to the top of the post. That will be kind of my top barricade for anything I put on the top shelf that it won't fall over. Same deal here, I'll secure this with 2 screws each side. With one side essentially done, it's time to verify that these shelves are actually straight. So I'll lift this side up, place it standing straight, and I'll go ahead and measure the actual straightness of the 2x4 shelf supports. With one side done, now it's time to do the other side of the shelf. It'll be the same process as before. With both sides complete, I'll lay each side of the shelf on top of each other. This way I can verify that the shelves are lining up, everything is even, and there's no big angle adjustments that I need to make. Next up, I'll lay out the support brackets that will connect the 2 sides of the shelves. These will be 2x4 pieces, 2 foot long. These will also double as extra support for the 2x4 shelf supports. It will just decrease those spans a little bit more by 3 inches, so it'll be less deflection as well on those shelves. Take note that I'm only securing one side of this support bracket at a time. I'll lay out all 4 of these 2x4 connection braces and secure those all to the bottom frame. Now, I don't have He-Man strength, so what I did to actually secure the next side of the shelf to the 2x4s that I secured to the bottom frame is I just flipped the whole assembly over. So I put the frame that was on top, I put that on bottom, and the frame that was on bottom, I flipped that on top so that the 2x4s can support the shelf itself and raise it up to 2 foot that I need. And then I can just slide that into the correct location and secure those 2x4 braces to the other side of the shelf. This video montage will show that process. With the shelf lined up, I'll secure the next 2 screws to the other side of the shelf. Now essentially the skeleton to your frame is pretty much complete. Now it's time to set your frame right side up again to continue on with the installation. With the frame upright, here comes the fun part, the painting. Now I like all my stuff to be black or gray or white in my garage, so this will be black. I use spray paint for this application and I'm using a matte black spray paint. With the shelf painted, now it's time to apply the shelving. I'm using 7/16 OSB for the shelving. I'll secure the shelving down with 3 screws on each side. Now I started to question how strong these 2x4s would be to support the shelves, but then I remembered I'm a structural engineer, so I just calced it out. Now I won't tell you what I calced out due to any liability, but as you can see, I performed some calisthenics exercises on this and there was very little deflections. Last up, I cut to size the middle portion that was open and secured that in place with 2 screws on each side. Last but not least, it's securing the wheels on the bottom of the shelf. I'll move to the bottom of the shelf, I'll lay it down first, and then move to the bottom legs, and I'll place a 2x4 spanning between both legs. It does two things: it allows more of a bearing surface for the wheels, and it also makes sure that the legs don't splay out at all, and they all stay true to the width of the shelf, which is 10 foot. Besides the shelving middle piece, this is the very first piece of wood I've cut on this project. As always, pre-drill the screw locations, and then I apply 2 screws on each end, and I apply those in the middle so that they don't conflict with the wheel mounting screw locations. Next, I pre-mark and pre-drill the screw locations for the wheels. The wheels are light, so it's easy to hold one wheel and hold the drill with the other to pre-drill these locations. Lastly, I'll go ahead and screw in the wheels using lag screws. The shelf is definitely heavier, but it's not too bad. I just lock 2 of the wheels and start the flip up process and get that back upright, and we're good to go. With that, the install is complete. Now I start loading up this shelf with all kinds of stuff, my kids' stuff, my wife's stuff, my stuff, and it declutters the garage. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe. If you have any tips, I love tips, please comment down below. Also comment on what you did to maybe make this your own. In the future, near future, I plan to actually put pegboards on each side. So the skinny sides, I'll put pegboards so that I have additional storage capacity for this shelf. Let me know down below your unique spin on this shelf project. It's officially a wrap, folks. As always, I appreciate your view, any comments, any likes. I'll catch you at the next video. Engineer Mojo, I'm out.